So today is Thursday, July 3rd, and I'm here to give you a fishing report on Table Rock Lake. But before we get into the fishing report and how I caught them this week and where I went and what I done, I've got a couple of things to say. First of all, happy 4th of July tomorrow, and thank you for all the veterans that served our country and fought for our freedom. So thank you guys for that. Number two, if you are coming on Table Rock Lake and you're bringing your family, and guys, I urge all the fishermen to send this to pleasure boaters or your friends that are pleasure boaters that are coming out on Table Rock Lake. The lake is madness, okay? There are pleasure boaters everywhere, jet skiers everywhere. I've already almost seen 20 to 30 wrecks just today because of stupidity. And I call it boat rage. All right, so you've got to be careful. You've got to know what you're doing. There's a lot of people here that aren't on a boat every single day like we are, or they only come to the lake once every 2 years and they rent a boat. They don't know the lanes. They don't know how to drive. They think they do, but they don't. I was way back up in a creek today, and there was some standing timber around, and they were in a rent boat, and they were just throwing their kids around in a tube. And I went over there when they crashed, and I told them, I said, hey, do you realize that there's standing timber right underneath you? And they didn't seem to care, which was kind of alarming. I wasn't trying to be rude, I was just trying to help them, but they got out of there is what I'm saying. And if you're in the night tournament, this Friday, it happened to me and my partner twice, Danny Hancock. We were going across the water at night, 30 miles an hour, and we almost hit a boat head on Friday night because he didn't have his lights on. And Danny moved to the left ever so slightly just at the right moment. I mean, we were within 5 feet of this boat. Guys, that could have been bad for me and Danny and the actual people that was driving the boat. They didn't have their lights on. We could have hit them head on. There's a lot of things that could have happened there. Second night, there was a pontoon. People that aren't out on the lake all the time, they didn't know that they had to have their power switch on to keep the lights on, and we almost hit them broadside. Like I said, there are people out and about at night, especially pleasure boaters, so please be safe. If you can, bring a spotlight, which is what we're going to start doing, is bringing a spotlight so that doesn't ever happen again, because it's really scary. I mean, that could have ended my life and Danny's life and possibly their life. So, and they just don't think about that. And there's people out here drinking and driving boats. You know, they've already had a couple people killed in the last couple weeks due to jet ski injuries. So you really have to be careful out on the water right now. Guys, these people don't care. I was out on main lake points and they would come within 10 to 20 feet of me. They just don't care. And that's okay. I'm not gonna sit there and throw my hands up and be mad at them, because it absolutely does no good. And the state troopers are probably doing the best that they can out here, and they're trying to keep everybody content and happy and trying to keep everyone safe boating. So please be careful if you come to Table Rock Lake this weekend, because it's All-Star Weekend, it's 4th of July, and there are probably, I don't know how many boats. In one cove I was just back up in, and there was probably 50 to 60 in a small cove, and they were tubing. I don't know how they were all doing it, but I literally had to idle out just to be safe. So please be careful. All right, so let's get into the fishing report. Hold on a second. If you want to book a guide trip, guys, you need to book it now. I'm getting pretty busy. Also, July 12th through the 19th, I will be out of state. I will be in Florida on vacation with my family, so you won't get no fishing report that week, or you can't book a trip during that time, 12th through the 19th. I'm getting a lot of people that are doing on the water lessons with me. Those guys that just want to catch more fish, they want to learn how to catch bigger fish. They want to know what to target. They want to know their electronics, what they're looking at. And don't be embarrassed or anything like that. Guys, if you're an avid fisherman and you're passionate about it and you want to learn a sport, I'm learning it every day. I learn from other people too. Like I learn from the hammers out here on this lake as well. Like I have to go to seminars sometime to learn more. If you consistently keep learning and adapting to the sport, you're going to get better at it. So just take the time, call me, we'll book you on the water lessons. It's $100 an hour. Some people book 1 to 2 days, you know, some people book for 3 hours, you know, so, all right, so let's get into the fishing report. So this week I really targeted main lake points and brush piles. Fishing's great. I've caught a lot of fish. You can go catch a lot of fish on main lake points, secondary points. If you want to, you can go up and flip up in the bushes and you can catch some on the outer edges of it. I just haven't caught no bigger quality fish during the day. I'm talking like 4.5, 5 pounders. Now I am catching 3s and 3.5 pounders. You know, I'm averaging anywhere from 15 to 16 to 17 to 18 pounds a day sometimes. Well, I won't say 18, but you know, mainly in that 15 to 16 pound range. So I'm also targeting little cuts too. If you don't know what a little cut is, it's basically a creek channel that swings by a bluff, and that creek channel is going by that bluff, and I'll get in those little cuts, okay, and the bait's up there and the fish is up there. You know, there is a lot of spots, but there are some big smallmouth and some largemouth, but mostly spots and smallmouth are up in those little cuts. So if you want to go catch a lot of fish, go up in those cuts, go out on the main lake points with the creek channel coming right by them, go out there, throw your favorite bait, and start catching them. I will say I'm catching better quality fish probably from 11 to 1 or 2, and in the morning times I'm catching a bunch of small ones. Like I'm catching anywhere from 20 to 30 a day, between that 2-hour time frame or 3-hour time frame, and I'm moving pretty quick. So I'll go fish a spot for like 5-10 minutes, and then I'll move to another main lake point, and then I'll go on to the next and just start catching a handful. If you're not catching fish on artificial lures and you just want to go catch fish, go tie a drop shot on, go find you a spot out there, get you some earthworms, and go chunk an earthworm out there. They're catching them on earthworms right now too, and that's fun as well. It's a fun bite because it's so simple. You tie your drop shot on, you hook your worm, your live bait, throw it out there, and then just kind of hold that tight line as you're kind of dragging across the bottom. A spot will come up and just annihilate it, and you can have fun. It's a great way to take out the kids and catch a lot of fish that way. Okay, now what was I catching majority of my bait on? I was catching the Mayer Mooch Minnow. I like gizzard shad. If the water's a little bit murky, I go for that little bit wider, the wider bait. It's like black and gray on top. It might be a little bit lighter gray. I can't remember the color. I think it's ghost. But you can catch them on that. Throw it out there in the morning. Put you a Queen's jig head on, and I would probably go anywhere from a little bit heavier, you know, 3/16 to just under a half, and chunk that thing out there on the main lake point. Let it fall down. Let it hit bottom, and then just start slowly reeling it back, and you'll have a great time. Also, been throwing this jig around as well. It's gourd green, and it's got a little bit of orange in it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's got a little bit of orange in it, and I just pair that up with a creature bait and think this is watermelon candy. And some days I dye the tips, and some days they don't want the tip chartreuse. You just kind of have to figure out what they want and how they want it. If you're not getting any bites on the jig and you're not painting the tails, paint the tails. You know, chartreuse. Even if it is a little bit stained water, sometimes they just don't want it. You know, they don't want that chartreuse tail. You just kind of have to let them figure out how they want it and how they like it. Also been throwing these two around. It's 6 Sense Divine Shaky Worm, watermelon red, and I've been dyeing the tips chartreuse, and then also plum right here. Plum's been working better than the watermelon red, but there are days that they want this more than they want this. So, but I've usually got two of these tied on just to kind of figure out what they want, what color they want that day, and I just run with it. Okay, so watermelon red, shaky head, dye the tip chartreuse, and plum. Okay, throw those on main lake points and little cuts. Also been dragging around, throwing up by the bushes, a brush hog. This is green pumpkin purple, and I'm also dyeing the tips chartreuse on that as well. So those are the main baits that I've been catching on my fish this week. I've been throwing around a square bill. I've been getting some bites on it, and they're just right on the outer edge of it. I'm paralleling the banks and getting right beside those bushes and just throwing not a brush hog, a 1.5, you know, crankbait by Strike King, or I've been throwing a rock crawler, and the rock crawler that gets around there around 8 feet. That's where the magic is, around that 8 feet mark. And I've been catching mainly all my fish in, you know, varying it from 10 to 15 feet out on the main lake points. But really throw that thing up there, work it out as far as you can, and eventually, you know, you'll figure out where they're setting up at on that depth wise, and then you'll start triggering them. Night fishing has been great. It's been really good. The old 86 night tournament is canceled for Saturday, which I'm so glad they canceled it, because I think it's very dangerous to be traveling and fishing at night, especially this weekend, because there's just so many pleasure boaters out and so many people that don't know how to drive a boat. As a matter of fact, I don't think we're even having a Friday nighter this Friday, and if they were, I probably wouldn't even be fishing it because it's too dangerous. But guys, that's what I'm doing this week. Go get you a square bill, I would say sexy shad, and start throwing around the bushes, paralleling them. Go get you a brush hog, green pumpkin purple, dye the chartreuse tail, dye the tail chartreuse. Go get you a jig that looks greenish and has a little bit of flash in it with a little bit of orange, and like I said, either dye the tails or don't. And yeah, go get you a plum shaky head. Guys, that's it here for your fishing report. Don't forget to go check out the podcast, and I think we got a great show coming up this Friday. And well, I know we have a great show coming up this Friday. I think it's me interviewing one of the college kids from Springfield. So guys, thank you. We love you here at the Hines house, and guys, have fun fishing. Enjoy the day and be safe.